Hey guys, this is Top, and today we're going to make a video on how to install and performance of the LG. Let's see. This one's called the LW8010ER. It is an 8,000 BTU unit running on R410A, and it's pretty heavy. It's at least 55 pounds, and I think this unit's at least 10 something years old, and I got it for free out of an abandoned house that was going to be demolished. Well, actually it was demolished, and then this was thrown away. It would have been in a damn scrapyard anyways, so it wouldn't have been doing any good there. But now it's running. It worked just fine, and just needed to be cleaned out, and it needed new side panels because the old side panels completely rotted out. I had to buy these. These were $45. Very expensive side panels, but they're really good and insulate even on the sides. So at least they have good quality side panels. I had to re-put them in, but I will be explaining if you had this unit brand new. I don't think they make these. Definitely not. It's really old. And I'll just explain quickly how you would put it together, put it in the window, and how do I think of the unit. I will not be putting any screws together in this video, but I will be explaining where each screw goes and how to put them together. Very simple on this unit. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver. It looks exactly like this. Nothing crazy, but this will need to do it. It'll be about 12 screws you're going to have to put together, give or take. Next thing you need to do, before you put these side panels in, you first need to install the top rail bar. Now this top rail bar must be installed in this direction because of the design of the window. It prevents it from falling backwards and the unit just falling out the window. If it was put on opposite, it would fall out the window. But this is keeping it with the lip of the window, pretend this is the window, from going against it and falling out. That's this. So you're going to put this first on when you install it. Now, these are called side panels, and we'll talk about those in a second. But let's explain how do you put top rail bar on. There are 3 screws that pertain to the top rail bar. You put the top rail bar right here. You align it with the 3 holes that the screws would go. Screws go here, in the middle, and right there. You will screw your 3 screws into the unit, connecting the top rail bar. This top rail bar will be completely secured to this cage. The top rail bar we're talking about. Like I said, 3 screws, they are Phillips. You just screw it in, it's secured. And for the side panels, each one has 4 Phillips screws. These side panels are more advanced than most side panels. Most side panels just slide in on the side, but these actually have 4 Phillips screws. When you are installing your unit, you want to look to make sure that this pertains to the right side and the left side. The right side will pertain because you will know when you put it at this angle with this hole right here, it has to look like this piece. It will slide in onto the side right here and match with this groove. If you put the left one there, it will not go in correctly at all. It will slide in on the back. You have to make sure when you slide this in, it looks like this in the front. This clip is right here. It pertains to the right side too. And then this screw hole is here. And like I said, it will slide in. There's a track on the top right here for this plastics to slide in. And now there's a track on the bottom too for this plastic to slide in. And it keeps it from wiggling in and out. The same exact setup applies to the left side panel, and I'll show you how it's locked in and how to put those side panels in once your bar has been put in. To put this in, like I said, you will slide these 2 grooves, this in on the top, in the bottom, and just kind of push it into the bar, but not all the way. The reason is you need to screw in these 4 screws right here. Now I'm going to show you these 4 screws. 4 Phillips screws, they all go in the back, they screw into these holes. Simple as that. You just angle your screwdriver, you put these 4 in with the same Phillips that you use for the top, you can just use on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, keeps this completely sealed against the unit, and no gaps at all. Very clean and tight seal. So like I said, you need 4 Phillips that will come with this kit, the side panel kit. And then, but before you, like I said, before you put the screws in, you want to put this on a track. Make sure it rolls and functions perfectly. Then you screw in your 4 screws. You will repeat the same exact process with the left side. 4 screws, all on the back, lined up right there. 4 Phillips screws. And then this pertains there. And then that's how you put both side panels on. Like I said, you want to make sure that it looks identical to this on this, and it slides perfectly. And then this clip and this is exposed, and it goes on the left side, and it slides like that. Alright, now let's put it into the window and explain how we put it in the window. It's very easy. And I'll explain vaguely the other procedures when putting it into the window. Alright, this is my window. It is a vinyl window. Now let's talk about, before we even talk about the unit, you want to make sure that the plug of the unit is able to reach an outlet. That outlet must be a free prong outlet, and the plugs always have free prongs like this. Free prongs. Very thick, and has a reset button here too, and all that fancy shit. You do not want to use any extension cords. You don't want to use an orange or yellow. They make special AC extension cords, but you're not allowed to use a orange or yellow extension cord. It's just not permitted. It's not safe or whatnot. I mean, that's the rules. So make sure you get a special AC extension cord if your AC cord does not reach the outlet, but most times this should reach the outlet. So yeah, that's another important thing you need to note before you even get the unit near your window. Next thing you need to talk about is you need to remove your window screen. I already moved mine. To remove mine, 2 tabs at the top, bam, pops open, pull it out, bam. Slides up, window is open. Let's put it in the window. I'm going to do this all by myself. This one's a little heavier though. If you want to have someone with you, having one person will greatly benefit your installation. 2 people is great for this unit, because it weighs like 55 pounds, which is kind of heavier, and it looks pretty bulky for an 8,000 BTU unit. It's pretty bulky. But I'm going to give it a go, and explain exactly how you want to hold it. Alright, pull up to the window, holding both hands like this. Then you're going to want to kind of do this, watching my hand positions. Kind of like this. Hold it steady. Start to roll your window down. Hold this part like this, and this top bar. You have to be very careful here in how you hold your hands and all of that. I'm going to actually start holding it like this and pushing it towards it so it can get on track. On track means this goes on inside right here. This part, inside. Roll this up a little. I got this. It's not that heavy, I guess. And that's not it yet. Again, hold it, pick it up, put it on the track, and then I'm going to keep holding it. This one's a little harder, guys. Bear with me. It's all that weight. This is something you really would want to do with 2 people. Update. I got it on track. You have to get both sides. All because of that weight. And this cord. Whew. Roll out your panels a little bit too, actually. There you go. You have to keep it pretty open. You have to get it on track. Now you roll your window down, holding the top two. All right, it's in. You have to make sure it's on track, y'all. Then you'll extend these side panels to fit. While it's on track, y'all. Make sure it's on the track. Mine's on track and it also fits really good and it has very minimal gaps. Just putting it like this basically eliminates all gaps, except for a small one. We'll talk about the last steps of potential installation and then we'll take it out. I'll give my final review. We'll be done. That's the importance of this bracket right here. You see how it's just sitting there holding this window? Yeah, this is really important, this bracket. As well as these side panels. Now let's talk about optional installation parts. As you can see right here, there's a screw right here you can put. This will just keep it kind of from like falling backwards. You could tape it if you don't want to screw it. I didn't get any screws. Actually, because this is an aftermarket installation kit, I technically did get screws. And you would get screws if you bought this unit new. But I didn't get any. I mean, if you bought it used secondhand, you wouldn't probably. You would just take your Phillips screw. Either you can drill like micro bit before, or just use like a just screw it in. It'll just blend in with the vinyl, and it'll probably secure really well to keep this screw in. And there's also like a clip right here that would come with it if you want to hold it downwards, just to hold it from sliding. Those two. Also, they come with insulation foam. You can fill in all the gaps anywhere. Just cut it up and put it where there's gaps. Make it as clean as installation. You could use tape to hold this together. I'm not screwing anything in the video because I don't have to install this. I have central air conditioning. I'm just showing you how it's done. But yeah, if you would want, just screw in your screw right there. Very small Phillips it would come with. Very small in length. You don't want too long. Same process would apply on the left wing. Extend it all the way. Screw that top in, and then there's a clip, like I said, on the bottom. That's really the only screwing in you have to do in the window, but it'd probably be pretty needed actually to do it. If y'all would want to do it, then just do it with the provided screws. Right here, clip there, insulate, but just screwing that in is a pretty good seal actually. So it's pretty easy actually on this unit, just putting those two tops, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to do it to run the unit. But let's plug it in and show you how it operates in the window and how it sounds. I don't have that. Pretty sure this unit brand new came with a remote. I don't have a remote. I don't know what the hell. Just turn it on. It's cool. It has. You can adjust it right here. These buttons are sometimes a little finicky. Mode. Sometimes these buttons are unresponsive. I'm not sure because of this. I don't know if it's like that or... Like, yeah, sometimes these are unresponsive. There's a timer function that's working. I don't know myself. I'm the reviewer. I don't know how the timer function works. That is something you'd have to look up on your own accord. But I'm assuming it would run into the unit for a certain amount of time and then just shut it off. I've never had to use that function and most people don't. Here's fan speed 1. There, it's working now. It just takes a couple seconds for some reason to the buttons to respond. And let's get close to it. It's already producing pretty cold air. You hear it running? And the compressor's on producing cold air. Very icy, I'm not even joking. And it just turned off because it thinks inside is cool enough. And it is. I think it's 72 up here. Let's give it another fan speed. Here's fan speed 2. Picking up the up the pace, but this is only as if it's a fan. There's also these modes. You can dehumidify, you can save energy, or just run the fan with no air conditioning. But it works pretty good. I like the sound of it, and I like the... Let me get this temp down so y'all can hear the compressor turn on. That's considerably louder than fan speed 1 and 2. Here's 1, 2, the compressor's still not kicking on because it doesn't think it's cold enough to warrant it turning on. I'll see if it will turn on though, so you can hear it buzz like a normal air conditioner noise. Excuse me. Maybe this one doesn't work. It's kind of weird, these buttons. I don't think I can get it to kick on anymore because it's just too cold in the house. But like I said, this is 2. And this is the loudest speed. Like I said, the compressor's not kicked on now because it doesn't think it's... So you won't hear that buzzing, but like it'll be very similar to this sound on the highest setting. So I'll back up a little bit. Oh, turned on. You hear that buzzing? Okay, this is the loudest it will sound, guys. It just kicked on. It's getting cold. Let's see what it sounds like on 1. There you go. It's producing the slow, cold air. It smells good too. The unit doesn't smell funky. I know it came from a vacant house. I cleaned it really good. I really degreased it. And that's about it. But how about taking it out the window? All I'm going to do now is take it out the window and give the full impressions of it, and then that will be the end of the video. Let's take it out the window. Because it's full. Now to take it out, you're going to collapse your side panels, both of them. And then you're kind of going to pull it almost in a forward motion. Then you're going to want to inch your hands upwards. Put both hands here. If you can hold it like this, then do that. I can. Then you want to put your hands here on both back ends of the unit. Pull it in. Pull it in. Drop it. Drop it. I will drag it over here, and we're going to talk about its features. Now I gotta go to the gym. Alright, let's talk about the unit. Is it a good unit? Good features. Good value. Alright, so I would say it's a little faintly outdated technology, but not too outdated. I've seen, they're very similar to new ACs. They all run the same. They all do the same job. New ACs would probably have maybe a couple more features on the control panel, or the new LGs, but nothing probably that crazy. Like I said, there's 4 modes. We can cool with it. You can cool using less energy. You can just run the fan for airflow, or you could dry, i.e. dehumidify, and remove humidity from the air. Let's see. There's a timer function. You can run it as long as you want, and it'll just turn off on its own. You can adjust from 3 different fan speeds, and a temperature ranging from 60 to over 80. Though putting it at 80 would definitely not make the unit run. And then for adjustability, this adjusts very faintly. This is not that impressive at all, very lackluster. I'm going to be honest, that gets a poor rating right there. Because, come on, what's this? Barely any adjustability from the upwards and downwards angle. But from the side to side, we have 2 levers, which swings to the left and right. You can blow it this way and blow it that way. You can go this way, or you could just go straight ahead. And it does actually do some control Ds, so I will give these a plus. But this doesn't really do much for it. That's all your controllability on airflow. Very lackluster, considering it's an LG, but it does the job. Now filters. Right here. Mesh filter you clean once a month. Just rinse it with soap and water. Scrub it with an old toothbrush you don't use with your teeth. Great thing to save. FYI. You just clean this to the way you like. You just shove it back in there. And then for terms of performance, let's talk about, this is 8,000 BTUs. It's supposed to cool up to 350 square feet, but I'd be using it around a 250-ish square feet, give or take, scenario, just for max power. And any other facts about this I should talk about? Just seeing. Not really, but there is one thing I do want to bring up after, and I'll bring it up in a second after I make sure I cover everything. In terms of performance, it works really good. It definitely feels like it's an 8,000 BTU unit, and it will provide many years of service as it has. This is like, I think this is a 2013, it's 11 years old, still works like brand new. So it definitely was a good unit back in its time, and definitely will still provide good service for many times to come. I will be selling this to make space in my house. I don't need this unit. I have central. I just had it as a stupid to collect it, but I just kind of collected it, I guess. No use for this. And one thing I will talk about is, so I'd give it at least I'd give it a 4-star rating. Only I'll just say is this is kind of disappointing is the adjustability on the vents. So that's loses a point right there. But 4 stars for the overall unit and everything else. Build quality is pretty good. Be gentle with this plastic front though. This is kind of fragile, I guess. It just kind of is there's clips and stuff that holds this kind of front thing together, and if those clips break, they'll kind of just be wobbly, and so you just gotta be really gentle when you take this unit out to the filter, and if you have to pry this out for cleaning purposes. I clean it about every 2 years if I were you. Now let's talk about water. A lot of people are asking comments. I swear if I get a comment, then I'll just know that you didn't watch the complete video. Is people ask, what happens if water gets in it? It's an air conditioner, right? Air conditioners remove water from the air, the humidity, and it lowers humidity and turns it into water. It spits it out the back. So first off, an air conditioner is like wet, essentially, in that aspect. But if it falls through these grates and vents right here, this is all outside. It's completely good to get wet because the unit can actually benefit from a little bit of water and rain. It sloshes around, it cools down the unit and keeps it running more efficiently. But if it rains too hard or just rains too hard and it's raining into the unit and it falls into the vents, too much water, it's probably happened maybe once or twice over the whole year when I use like a small 5,000 BTU unit. Is it though it could jam, or kind of not jam, but like bog down the fan motor when it turns on, so it'll be sloshing all this water in like a big thunderstorm when you need to use the unit. So if you hear it sloshing, I'll just turn it off because it might put wear and tear on the motor with it having to slosh all that water. But the water will just dry out within hours, and it'll be or just an hour. It'll just dry out or just fall out of the unit, and the water situation will be resolved. But that's the only thing that could go wrong with the rain. But just normal rain or average, rain will not have any impact on the fan speed at all. It will be running like a normal unit. It will benefit from that little rain. Plus the water it takes out of the air, it also sloshes that around. So yes, water's completely fine to get into it, and there's no problem with water. It's not electronically needs to be safe, this area, in that way. Another thing you could do is take it apart every 2 years. All the screws, right here on the back, and take this whole cage off and rinse these fins. These are called fins right here. Spray them in between, to get it's like a little sheet of metal essentially, like this whole radiator looking thing. And dirt can get clogged in between here, reducing the airflow in and out of the unit. So you just take a hose and just push it right against it, and you just go with some soap and water, and it'll blast all that little gaps in, and then keep it completely clean and clear. Those, and just throw the fan motor and get all the dust out of there so it runs good. So you could take this apart and use a hose and soap and water and wash this whole outside of the unit safely with a hose. I wouldn't get any of these electronics wet though right here. Just the only thing you wouldn't touch is this. You can spray everything else though with water. Take this plastic off if you want to. Take this whole cage off. Scrub it with soap and water. You keep all the dust from going. You could take this whole here, I'll show you guys for cleaning purposes. Actually, kind of just do this. There's another kind of vent here you can clean too with a brush, soap, and water. Your thermometer is right here. This black cable is your thermometer, and it senses the temp, or what it thinks is the temp, and correlates it with this panel right here to turn on whether it needs it or not. But yeah, this is another thing you can clean right here with soap and water and keep this clean. Just don't get this wet. But I would take this whole cage apart every 2 years and just take these plastic. This will just pop off with, it just popped off right there actually. Popped off like that. The unit, this is the intake. Actually, I'm kidding, this is the outtake. This is the intake right here though. Your air will get sucked in through here, it gets processed and comes back out being cooled with refrigerated liquid. And it just comes out as cold air. There's a little rubber seal here and stuff. But yeah, that's it. Just don't get this area wet, but you can clean all this. I cleaned it myself, I scrubbed it really good. It only improves its performance when you do that. So 4 stars on this unit. For back in 2013, definitely not a bad unit at all. Just kind of heavier. It's 55 pounds at least, I would say, and you might want to use 2 people based on how you see how I kind of had to balance the unit in the window. It could be kind of difficult with just 1 person, but I was able to do it myself. But like I said, you don't want to just second floor yourself and just drop it and it'll basically disintegrate this thing and be useless when it falls out a window. So that's all I have to say about that. LW8010ER 8000 BTU machine from 2013 uses refrigerant chemical R410A. Used to use something called R22, also known as Freon. Well, that was discontinued around the late 2000s, I would say, and no unit systems are sold like that anymore for decades. So you won't find that old Freon that's polluting the air and whatever the hell it does to the atmosphere in these units. This is a different refrigerant blend to do the job and cool down. Refrigerant cools down the air and then spits it out as colder air. So that's what it is. It's like a liquid inside the unit. And then, but yeah. Thanks for watching. This is Topman. I gotta go.